nature of my co-caster. Because our mics are always live on the PC. Yeah, it's like so now we're gonna start. Okay. Welcome back, everybody, here to the Manila Major 2016. EG going up against LGD. I'm W1 here with Capitalist. Welcome back.
Listen, Toby, it's like the Dota TV viewers in the first couple of seconds of the match get like a little bit of behind-the-scenes coverage. They enjoy it.
Well, I don't know if they really want to get that
Pull
kind of
back the veil.
No. Please no.
You guys don't want to see behind that veil.
Yeah, you really don't. There's nothing but ginger. Wonderful to put in tea. Doombringer, pick up from EG as a #1 pick. I am so surprised, Capitalist. This is completely different to what they've been doing previously.
Yeah, maybe LGD want to be able to prioritize the Tide Hunter.
I wonder if Lifestealer and Phoenix is also high up in that list.
Yeah, either way, like Doom is just a really strong opening pick. If you can't get Beastmaster, I actually think that Doom is, like, if you've got good Doom strategies and if it deals with the enemy team and what they like to draft really well, just makes sense to me. Dazzle and Lifestealer, maybe, the opening 1-2. Physical damage minus armor against a hero that's pretty low on armor in the beginning.
Yeah. Also, we saw how successful Dazzle was at, like, kiting out the target. Like, hey, you want to doom someone? That's terrific. Like, we'll just wait it out. Like, Shadow Wave it up, Shadow Grave it up, get that 4-staff, get the distance, and Doombringer kind of becomes a bit more of a nothing. But yeah, you're having that thing. We got Maybe's Invoker in the first 2.
Nice. I actually really like this because Maybe's Invoker in 2 different series now has come through in the clutch for them. He did really well in this series with his Invoker. He did really well last series, so I think it was very likely to get banned in the 3-4 by EG. So this is smart. Even if it is picked into a Doom, whatever. Invoker can get a Linken's if it's really necessary.
I think we've seen more than enough Invokers who have gone up against like straight counters against him, and they're still performing insanely well.
Yeah, Doom's a counter to everyone.
Yeah,
Can't be afraid of him.
He's the master of all orbs.
Man, that Dazzle did a lot for them against the Doom as well.
But
this time around, evil geniuses have a plan.
Axe! Okay. Where is PPD taking the swindle strats now? Grabbing the Wyvern and then farming up inside the jungle.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to give deference to the #2 North American team behind Digital Chaos. So, evil geniuses respecting their betters.
Are you saying EG is #3 with that statement?
Yeah, I'm glad you worked that out. You want to know who's #4?
What, Shazam?
Correct. You want to know who's #5?
Anyone but veggies?
Secret.
Hey! Hey, they are an American team. They got 3 Western players, as in like US West players. We've been joking about it, like with like, hey, if Secret like get bottom 4 here, like, do they actually just change their roster and go through open qualifiers? Where do they play? Hey, they got to play up in North America.
Yep.
It's the easiest place to qualify from.
Yeah. Good times. Lifestealer gonna be banned out by LGD. I guess with the Axe is actually the Axe like dual lanes are okay at threatening Lifestealer. I'm not sure if LGD would be able to run it for themselves, and obviously evil geniuses are going to be pushing up the tempo. Axe, like, that is one thing. You're revealing the Axe really early, which is fine. Because it counters the Dazzle and everything he does so well. But it does say right away, like, we are pushing up the tempo. We are going to be running at you by 15 minutes, and we're looking to end the game by 35, most likely.
The funny thing is, like the Axe was just being played over in the Liquid game as well, and they actually ran a 4-position Axe.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if EG's also tossing it up where they don't give it to Bulba. Like, I know we've seen the Doom on Fear for the last 2 games, so it's a higher percentage chance that EG will just run at a 4-position Doom.
Mm-hmm.
But do you actually think like you can get more out of the map if you throw the axe in the jungle?
No, I think 4-position Doom is still better, and I would rather see them run something like what are the really good heroes that combo with Axe that isn't Dazzle? Witch Doctor,
Abaddon.
Abaddon, but that hero's maybe a little bit questionable.
You gotta do the creep skip, bro. Get in behind the tower.
Yeah, it's
Shield and skip. Shield and skip. No,
I know the strategy, Toby.
I know you do.
I just think that strategy is really easy to read, and it gets screwed by rotations. So
yeah, and it's also from like 4 years ago.
yeah, maybe Witch Doctor or something. I'd rather see that kind of like aggro dual lane and just see what they can do to put pressure on LGD. It would keep at the very minimum. It would again keep the 4-position maybe out of LGD's hands. You know what we were talking about, like how you can't pick up like Bounty Hunter against that sort of thing, because then Bounty Hunter has to rotate back to his safe lane and can't really roam as much. So we shall see here. Unfortunately, I felt like Bulba was going to get enough space to get a pretty fast Midas and turn that into a Radiance, but I feel like it was just a bit slow last game, and he was just kind of like 2 steps behind LGD the whole game.
Can LGD actually switch their lanes up to try and screw with EG? Because if this is going to be like, it should be an Axe off lane. Can you get away running a Tide versus an Axe?
Well, we should not try and lock down this Axe anywhere, man. This could be safe lane Axe, off lane Axe, 4-position, 5-position. You know, anything could happen. So I think this is much more of like just wait and see kind of drafting right now. Venomancer for EG could be support, could be a mid.
It's more than likely Samael. I think he's been the primary one that's been playing that for EG. And an Enchantress from LGD. Yeah, I so actually want to see LGD attempt this, where they run the Enchantress and Dazzle as this aggressive kind of like sustain that one hero on the offlane, push the Tide towards the safe, and push the Invoker in mid. Let him go Exort, bring in the Stun Strike.
Wait, you want to see an aggro try out of LGD?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I'm living life on the edge by thinking they're going to do something they're completely not going to do. Yeah.
That is one way to live your life, Toby.
That's how I do it, bro.
I think they're still... I mean, LGD have like a pretty clear like sort of 2-1-1 and a 4-position roaming around, but things are still very much up in the air as Evil Genius's draft is still hasn't fully unveiled itself, and because of that,
they just draft their own stuff. Like it's the stable stuff. Like, I don't think we've seen any draft from LGD where you said, "Hey, this is a little bit like awkward." Like it's not like you're looking at Fnatic where you're like, "Okay, I wonder how the hell you piece this thing together." Oh, hello. So it is not a mid Venomancer. We have ourselves a Templar Assassin coming up as number 4.
Huh. Well, fortunately, we have a Templar Assassin expert in the house.
Yeah, we got Waga sitting behind us because he's jumping into custom me for the next series, but he's hanging around.
Hey, Waga, how much do you hate playing Templar Assassin against Dazzle? You don't, right? Weaver for EG is what Waga says right now. I think Templar Assassin was a pretty decent pickup here. I think it matches relatively well against the Invoker, right? The heroes like the Enchantress are relatively easy to pop. You're going to be looking towards a BKB eventually anyway, so when you have that, you could just blink in, focus Enchantress down, don't have to worry about the Invoker at that point. The only thing that gave me any kind of pause is like the potential for Shallow Grave, but Waga says it's not really a problem. It is definitely a hero that you can pop really quickly, that's for sure.
Yeah. It just doesn't have that natural silence thing you look for from Samael's mids. Like if it was like a Queen of Pain instead, which could just jump in and control with Orchid instead. But it gives a hell of a lot of physical damage combining with a lot of the magical they've already got.
The Venomancer is kind of interesting. It's kind of a decent hero versus Tidehunter. It's another one of those ults that is able to go off and just kind of ignores Kraken Shell. You can't really cleanse it off. It's also one-off ability, so you get it off before Ravage. Doesn't necessarily matter if all the follow-up is there. And this lineup is like I don't even try and break it down until we see it completed, because I just have no idea what it's going to be. And clearly, it's something really weird. I believe this is a Venomancer and Vengeful Spirit as their two supports are going to safe lane Axe and an off lane Doom, I think.
Unless you run a VS core and AUI.
Yeah, exactly. That could still be a Vengeful Spirit core as well.
But you'd ask yourself the question, is that going to be worth it when you're going up against a PL core?
Yeah.
Like, that means your core is going to massively drop off in the late game, and it's Bulba on Axe.
I would much rather put the priority in Axe getting farm one way or another. Oh man,
it's AUI VS. They're running a core VS, an offlane Axe.
That Venomancer is gonna be so good. It's good against Templar Assassin. It's good against Vengeful Spirit Core. As long as it doesn't get caught by Doom or it doesn't get caught by the Axe call, I'm pretty happy.
Well, every game a different bug, boys and girls. Everyone's invisible. Everyone's Ricky Maru.
Huh.
And I can't even use my mini-map. Brilliant. Let's give us a sec.
Nah, dude, it's the fountain smoke.
I even restarted my game in between the games so that I... I am not being blamed for this. Alright, I can see people again, and I actually can use my mini-map. Okay, so tell me about this wonderful, amazing... That's a basic ward.
Yeah, it's not really that cool. They just TP'd out and they got the early ward on the cliff. This is to see the Enchantress rotations.
False promises of awesomeness, Cap.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just willing to do anything to make the viewers mad at you, that's all.
Thanks, Cap.
Yeah.
Alright, top lane fight, LGD. It's, okay, LGD's gonna back up from the room, which means we'll watch the bottom, Bulba. Okay, he won't get that one. Jiao Wei will manage to claim it from him.
I mean, I wasn't wrong. You should prioritize the Axe's farm in this game.
Well, they're going to, but it's Axe versus a Tide on the bot lane.
Yeah.
You head towards mid, whereas the Templar Assassin versus the Invoker, with a roaming Doombringer, and then a dual off lane with AUI VS and PPD Venomancer. And PPD already walking around with a smoke as well on himself. He may have bought that just for the cooldown timer.
Look at September. He blocks out the Doom's off-lane camp, which he'd usually utilize to get that first early devour, and then he scouts out Fierce rotation into his own jungle. Now, granted, while September is reading these movements, he's still being countered quite heavily, because Fear will obviously beat the hell out of the Enchantress. So, what September does is he gets a small creep that when Doom devours it, it's not that beneficial to Fear. Rather than
I hit the Gale!
Be able to get the kill.
PPD connected on it! They're gonna have enough damage, and September's gonna go down if life wasn't hard enough with the Doom. You've already got that. Now they can move to MMY. Fear's actually he's still got the mana burn in him. It's not that much of a reason to use it on the Dazzle, however.
You know, this mana burn's not actually that bad. If only he had a little bit more mana to work with, he could just sit in lane and spam it against Phantom Lancer. Trade off his 50 mana for 100 mana of the PL.
That could work. Huh. Hey, you know that whole creep skip? We're doing the skip and shield without the shield.
Yeah.
Bulba is behind the tower, and Xiao Wei's actually, because he doesn't get a stout shield, he got boots only to start with. He's actually having to take the damage from the creep wave.
Yeah, this is.
Maybe you are really low.
Yeah, but it's a Doom level 1. What is it?
Yeah.
Besides Enchantress.
True.
What does it really kill, Toby?
True.
It needs
But at the same time, like, this is
Blade.
Invoker who right now can only cold snap because he just got mana burnt.
Yeah. Fear, time to find another creep. Oh, that's a good creep. You're low on mana. How about get a spell that doesn't cost you anything?
That works.
Yeah.
I still love the fact that, like, to September, like, I'm fairly certain he grabbed the Satyr, because he's like, oh, I'm just going to get something which this Doom can't do anything with, or maybe I can mana burn him so Doom can't do as much with it. Are they actually, yep, hello, stun. Fear, He's going in pretty deep. He can guarantee the kill if he dies here because you're going to have the shardlings come out. Wait. Maybe not so much because Samal is in pretty deep, but there's stun number 1. Nope, he's actually got it. No, wait, no, what? Where's your damage? Where's your damage?
Yeah, Doom Shards don't do any damage, Toby.
They do 9 damage.
I mean, they do no damage, Toby.
Like, I actually think Techies is more powerful.
Yeah, they do no damage whatsoever. So if you don't finish him off with that hurl boulder... Now, if he had thrown it instantly, he might have gotten the damage in time before the Quas regen came into play. But now, AUI's in some serious trouble. September's wrapping around.
PPD doesn't have enough mana for his Gale, so AUI going to get clamped. The Stomp won't be there, but with the Phantom Lancer right in his tail, they'll get the kill on the offlane VS, who has a grand total of 9 CS. But you have 19 for 2 over on this Axe, who's now, Bulba, committing against Zhao Wei. He needs spins. Unfortunately, RNG is not with Bulba.
Yeah, he was like, oh man, I'm going to get those 2 creeps, and I'm going to get some more damage on Zhao Wei, and then he just doesn't get the spin.
Gets nothing.
Yeah. But, I don't know, this aggro dual lane scenario with the Doom kind of roaming around, countering the Enchantress, it's working, because Venomancer and Venge can actually stand up against Dazzle PL. Dazzle PL is a really dangerous duo, but it's best when it's matched up against one hero, right? Because you're just looking for the Lance into the Doppelganger surround and Shadow Wave burst somebody down. It seems like with 2 heroes, it's just not quite possible to get that same kind of jump on one person.
I still want to see what happens once Tad hits level 6. Like, does LGD group up and say, hey, like, as a 4-hero lineup, we're going to be so powerful, so we'll let the PL have space to farm, and you gank with the Enchantress, if that's even possible.
Ooh, Samel's going to get himself a refresh there on the rune. Maybe he's already really far behind in CS.
They smoked. PPD and Fierce coming towards the mid lane. They want maybe. So PPD comes from behind, use the Plague Ward to scout up the high ground, but more importantly, he's going to hit the Gale over on maybe. With no points up in Wex, you got no invis, he threw it down the wall, but maybe will be dying here.
This was such a good smoke, because even though they have the laning ward up at top, it's just such an awkward thing to think about the fact that they left a Vengeful Spirit alone into what has now become essentially the off lane. In order to rotate that over. So it doesn't even occur to maybe that Vengeful Spirit is alone when they only see the Vengeful Spirit. They assume, oh, the Venomancer's around or something, and that full wraparound actually catches maybe entirely unaware.
Okay, Bulba is starting to shred this bottom lane. Zhao Wei's getting zoned out. Okay, PPD denied himself over to the neutrals.
He just wanted to... He had no mana, and he was like, freebie back to base.
He did that. He's 3 for 3. He did that once in every single game around this point in this series so far. AUI, yeah, with the Poison Touch, he goes to the stun over on the Enchantress. With the Lance Forward, however, AUI has no way to escape. He is an off-laner with nothing. Maybe if he was a Weaver, he would have had a chance to escape there. But not to be the case.
You kind of your Venomancer there. Once they realize, like, okay, they were just mid, and then Venomancer also dies into the neutrals. Like, okay, Venomancer's definitely not top right now. As soon as Venge is slightly out of position, they're able to pounce on him. So, still worth the trade-off, though. If you consider you want to trade Venge's life for the Invoker to continue to shut down, maybe I think that's still quite worth it. So.
Continue to shut him down is really the phrase, isn't it? Like, it's 19-2 up against 32-14. Samael is having to tarve his life on this Templar Assassin, and they're coming in to help him again. PPD and AUI rotating around. They go on Samael. The shields from Refraction are protecting him, and now AUI and PPD say hello to the Enchantress, and you can say goodbye to fast you didn't fear. In from the rear, stuns on maybe. So they didn't instantly get a rebuttal there from maybe. And in fact, they're cancelling the support maneuver. I think it was Zhao Wei who was thinking of coming into that mid lane. But the pressure now gets mounted. Maybe forced back, you can have Plague Wards causing yourself a lot of problems. And the bigger problem is also going to come when Bulba finally finishes up that Blink Dagger. He got a Vanguard already, so he's very tanky. Once he gets that initiation, EG's looking really good.
It's kind of awkward to cut from the safe lane, but Bulba may end up doing it again with the safety of this Vanguard, and does have a TP scroll as well, so even if they blow Ravage, he may still be able to TP out just because he's so damn tanky. Looks like LGD were actually kind of posturing to maybe rotate onto Bulba.
Yeah, did you see a TP for a fraction of a second?
I did.
Zhao Wei, well, with the Rock Stun, Magic Missile follow-up, they can call and hold him there, and then line him up for a dunk. Bump. and you can say goodbye to the Tidehunter. No ability to ravage in that, and even if he did, it would have just been a waste of an ability for him.
Yeah, if they continue to get these kind of kills, AUI can actually start chipping away at the tower. They're going to do a full-on swap. They need to, if they're actually going to have a Venge. You can't call him like the one position, because he's pretty clearly not. That's actually the Templar Assassin, the two probably being the Axe in this sort of case. But if you want the Venge core to actually be able to have an impact in these fights and not just rely on Bulba and Sumail, you need to give him some guaranteed farm in the laning phase.
Speaking of Bulba, he's coming to this top lane. He actually kind of like works nicely up against his PL. As long as there's more illusions hitting him, the chance for spin's going to be higher. Xiao going to commit that Ravage, and Sunstrike's coming in. Bulba, okay, he will drop. They had just enough damage to find that kill.
Sumail is hasted. They are going to be able to run down something here, like guaranteed.
It can aggressive be it? He doesn't have doppelganger for 7 more seconds, but nope, they're not going to go underneath the tower.
Ah, that sucks. They still have the Shallow Grave up for... Oh, no, they didn't. Huh.
Sumail then just TP's back towards the mid lane.
Okay.
Push maybe straight back out again.
Maybe he just assumed Doppelganger was up from the PL and it just wasn't worth going for that.
Possible.
Because without Shallow Grave and without Doppelganger, then I think aggressive just gets run down. Either way, Evil Geniuses are not in a bad position with those kills going down. They still successfully won both mid and bottom well enough that they've got a pretty decent lead. And if they can actually finish this Ancient stack, that lead will grow even further. But
Xiao Wei's going to try to do something about this. With the Force Spirit, they get vision on the high ground, but AUI has rotated over. If you're going to stick around, he's just going to swap you in and they'll find the kill. Speaking of that, PPD... Wait, what? Didn't he go home? He had almost no life when Bulba TP'd up to the top lane. It's like he should have escaped out. And LGD, they're not letting this Aegis stack go. They put down an Observer Ward, they maintain their vision there. Bulba's looking from behind, and, well, what's he want to do? Get caught in a sandwich? Because that's basically what this is. 5-sided, Sunstrike's on the way, Bulba get hit by that one. He only just died before, he's not spinning enough to do anywhere near enough damage to put aggressive in a bad position. Sumail will finish up the Ancients. So that's the upside, but you just lost Bulba for it to a 5-man move from LGD.
you cannot afford to lose Bulba. You just can't. It is like you have both a Venomancer and a Vengeful Spirit that are essentially in many ways like useless, or at least like far less useful than they should be for a Vengeful Spirit core and a Venomancer. Part of it is because PPD isn't level 6 because they ran this whole aggro dual lane scenario, so they're naturally going to be maybe a little bit behind. And AUI, in turn, obviously doesn't have any farm, so he doesn't have a whole lot of levels, so you don't take advantage of that strength attribute that Vengeful Spirit does grow over time, nor any items. So she's just becoming like a really squishy support for now.
But I say, do you actually just then turn PPD into the primary farmer?
No. It's not necessarily about that. You still want to keep AUI farming, absolutely. But the thing is, you can't be losing your really expensive heroes. The Axe and the Templar Assassin are supposed to be like moving around, creating space and drawing attention, but not actually dying. And then they would use this time to be able to farm up on the bench. Looks like they might catch aggressive though.
Bulba needs to find the real one. He'll see him run into the tree line, and then just ends up just crimp skipping it out because he's got Doom in the neighborhood. But Fear also needs to leech some levels here. Like, get that tome or something, because he doesn't have level 6 yet. And in fact, it looks like it's going to be PPD who's being ganked up. Step coming in under the cover of smoke. And PPD, well, he'll gale over the side, but again, that Sunstrike right on the mark, giving the extra bit of damage to find the kill. And it will go the way of Xiao Wei, bringing him now 200 gold shy of his mech.
And just like that, 11-minute Midas, not the fastest in the world, for sure. But maybe has begun his road to recovery.
It does the job. TP coming towards the top lane. In fact, double TP. Xiao Wei doesn't have the ability to jump out. There's obviously no Blink Dagger or Force stuff yet. He went for the mech build instead. And EG just back out. Sort of. Actually, AUI is rotating towards the top. Maybe they're still trying to create more space for Sumail, because Sumail is rapidly approaching that Desolator.
Yeah. Though the way this net worth chart should look is that Sumail should be on top, which he is, and then right behind him should be Bulba, and then the 3 members of LGD. But Bulba, because of his deaths, has actually dropped significantly, isn't anywhere close to his Blink Dagger for now. And without the Blink Dagger, they don't really set tempo at all.
EG really need to put down some kind of observer ward if they play up against LGD again. Like, just to see LGD moving into their jungle and placing down their wards. Because, like, we've had 3 games where LGD has been on Dire side. And every single time they had vision superiority over that Radiant Secret Shop. Bob was going to walk up, they found Zhao 8, and instantly into Doom. So, no Ravage for this fight. But at the same time, they don't really have enough damage to Bob and do anything else. And with aggressive rotating over, it's Fear who just asked the TP, and he will not be doing it in time. But you do get a rotation out. With the Gale connecting onto maybe, Samael takes out that tier 1 tower, but maybe we'll just have to walk it off. Maybe not so great when he keeps getting hit by side blades like that, dropping him down very low. And Bulba, he wants maybe just to walk an inch over to him if possible, but it's not going to happen.
If only he had a blink dagger.
Well, Samael does. He actually bypassed the death, so held on to that Blightstone only.
That's the thing, when you invest into these kind of cores, their timing is very
so dead. Like, just in case he could walk away in time, they put down the Sunstrike.
Yeah.
Mid lane was still being pressured. Zhao Wei is going to TP in, pushing back the 3-man lineup of EG. While now it's TP's up to the top lane, as Bulba will defend his tier 1 tower. So each team just playing like heavy rotation game at the moment.
There's too many heroes on Evil Geniuses that need farm right now. Samael has to keep farming, just natural for a TA at this point, but you need both PPD as well as AUI to start getting some, like, PPDs need some levels. AUI actually does need farm, and Vengeful Spirit is not very good at being able to farm efficiently. He's not like, has no abilities to be able to quickly clear through waves or anything like that. So, and then Bulba still needs his Blink Dagger, so... Like, the only one who can actually move around and not need as much is Fear. And that's just the nature of Doom, because he walks around and devours things every few seconds.
Okay, this tier 1 tower is finally going to go down. With the dominated catapult of AUI, they find a little bit more pushing power to work with. And they're coming to the tier 2 tower. So Bob will keep creep skipping it until LGD respond. But LGD looks like they're going for their own trade-off. They're looking to the tier 1 tower and bottom lane. This thing took 8 points of damage within the first, like, basically 15 minutes. So they got a lot to work through. While Samael rips through that tier 2 tower in mid. And AUI and Bob will take care of the top.
I'm rather surprised that they just let so much damage go onto that tier 2 at mid and top. I mean... defend one or the other really early on if you want to take that tier 1 bottom lane. I know aggressive is going to be super slow at it and stuff, but they shouldn't let practically 2 tier 2s go down in exchange for a tier 1 tower. They're not that far behind. In fact, I would say conversely, LGD are actually winning this game.
Really?
Yeah, I actually do believe that. I think that they're just going to hit their timings really well in the next, like, 5 minutes or so. In fact, they already have the mech on Zhao Wei, and another 1,300 gold. So Blink Dagger could be coming up really quickly. He could also go for more of a pipe build against Venomancer if he wanted to, but it would just be for the Venomancer, so I think Blink Dagger is a little bit better.
How do they deal with Samael, though? Because I kind of feel like his farm is just at a point where LG don't have anything to work against.
Yeah, Templar Assassins are a dime a dozen. You know, you catch them with the right disable, they can still get popped. Like, Templar Assassin is very mid-game focused core because of the fact that you're really dependent on BKB. So prior to that BKB and post that BKB timer, when it's down to like 5 seconds, it's still ultimately a hero that you get one disable on and you can focus down just because she's
this
rather
is gonna be a
squishy,
Roshan.
so.
They want to slip in. They found a double damage room for Samael.
Yeah.
So they're going to come in with AUI. Your Blink Dagger just got completed on Bulba. He's pushing out the bottom lane, maybe waiting in the tree line. But yeah, this is just a little bit too easy right now for Samael as well as AUI. Because AUI also prioritized completely his Vengeance Aura. So he's 4 points up in that. PPD with a Gale keeps Zhao 8 back. They're bringing in a lot more help, but the damage is already done with a TA trap. MMY slowed down. They doomed the Dazzle from the very, very start. You've still got Ravage available here from Zhao 8.
Oh.
That Nova is completely wafted. But Zhao 8 slowed up. It's the Purge creep inside of Fear. making it difficult for Xiaowei to escape. Bulba, where's that blink for? There it is, over on Sep, that big Mel strike damage. So Mel will get himself a double kill.
Nicely played.
And that'll be LGD losing too. And they'll probably lose this mid-tier too in just a bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As soon as that Roshan fight was about to happen, they got two very key items. They finished up the Desolator and Blink for Sumail, and had the Blink Dagger picked up by Bulba. And then all it takes is them getting the Aegis, and EG have complete control over the next, like, 5 minutes, guaranteed. So they have to get a lot done, and they've already done so. They successfully got the Aegis without LGD getting into a big 5-man team fight around that Roshan pit. They've taken already, because that earlier weird push where they got so much damage on the tier 2 at top and middle, they've claimed both of those, and now they just need the last remaining outer towers of tier 1 and tier 2, and they've got everything they need to get done in the first Aegis. Now, they may try and push uphill. I'm not sure if they should or not, because they very clearly don't want to let this game go too late, but there is also always the danger of trying to push in too early against high ground defenders like Tidehunter, who is very rapidly closing in on that Blink Dagger. So
they just need that sweet spot, that time when you catch LGD out of position or you get LGD into a bad trade-off.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if Sumail's going to have his BKB in time for them to still have the Aegis and be going high ground.
Well, when you bypass going straight to BKB for a Dragonlance, yeah, that does take a little bit more time.
I mean, it's a really stat-efficient item. We've seen a lot of heroes that have an excuse to go for it ever since the change where it gets a lot of agility. And I think it also makes it a lot easier to siege high ground when you have this item.
No longer that piddly range of a Templar Assassin. LGD, now they're going to take a tier 1 tower on top. Fortifications available for EG so they can slow it down, but EG just took out both of the outer towers of LGD on the bottom lane. That's all outer towers now of LGD gone, and we're 19 minutes into the game. So LGD have no building positions outside their base, and Sumail's starting this from down at the foot of the stairs, attacking up
and showing himself right now without a Blink Dagger. But I think he's going to buy it soon.
There it is.
Yeah, and then he's going to hide himself, I believe, and then try and go for the defense. But it looks like EG actually do back out. I think that's wise. Again, I really think the BKB is necessary, even if they do have the Aegis. That just means that LGD get the fight with the Ravage, and they take out, like,
they want to fight third. Okay, LGD are going to smoke out. PPD is waiting for him. He's going to move close enough that he breaks the smoke over on the PL. The jump comes on AUI, but really, is this going to be lost? Because LGD, they're about to get flanked. AUI had a lot of life still with those Magic Wand charges up his sleeve. He's walking away. The Gale will connect. Where is that Nova hit? It hasn't really come out yet. Now Xiaowei blows the Ravage. He hits the Templar Assassin, but that's the Aegis, the Immortal of Sumail. Now the ulti from PPD comes in. He does his job for the team, and this will allow Sumail to actually, well, what's he going to do? Aggressive. Has got way too much of himself. Sumail's going to go down another time. What I thought could have been EG's game here is not going to be it unless the spin! Oh. That could have been dangerous, but LGD will still take basically a 5-man fight for one because they burnt the Aegis the Immortal, but the one was the Invoker.
Yeah, that was... Okay, for a couple things. First of all, LGD was really smart to smoke out and get the quick pick off on AEY. Unfortunately, Evil Geniuses were just in a really awkward position where they're sitting in the secret shop. They couldn't get to that fight fast enough to really take advantage of what was happening. And second of all, again, you need the BKB, because as soon as the Diffusal Blade is up for aggressive, it's so good against the Templar Assassin, because you create all these illusions, you're doing this mass feedback damage, you're burning through the mana of this hero. Even the axe, you saw at the very end, like, yeah, he had those spins and brought a couple of heroes really low, but he's not going to have any mana whatsoever for the calls. So in order to get these kind of the next stage of fighting for Evil Geniuses revolves around BKB for the Templar Assassin, and the I believe, is Bulba actually going BKB?
Bulba is buying BKB.
Okay.
You're getting BKB on Bulba. It looks like you're getting potentially Slads on PPD who's dead.
I thought it was still the Blade Mail, but yeah.
And
I
TA
think
is getting the BKB now. He's 400 gold away.
If it was earlier in the game, probably Blade Mail, and then you would bank on BKB about 8 minutes later. But this game is dwindling a bit too late.
That's a weird kind of smoke.
Yeah.
EG smoked up on top of their own tier 1 tower in mid, but all of LGD were back, and they knew it too because their aggressive observer ward in the mid lane. They actually saw LGD backing up at the same time they were smoking. It just seems a little odd. But BKB is there for Sumail, and Bulber is rapidly approaching his as well.
I would say Evil Genius's stage 1 of the Templar Assassin in this lineup was like somewhat successful, but not the complete success they really wanted. And now LGD had their opportunity to be able to respond. They can play pretty aggressively if they want to sometimes on the Phantom Lancer. They can go for a pickoff here or there, but a lot of it's just going to be them hedging up their farm to defend high ground when Evil Geniuses have. Well, they actually do have that BKB. He actually broke it apart. He broke apart the Dragonlance to complete the BKB that much faster. I think I like this because if you slow down the game too much, maybe it's going to complete his Aghanim Scepter, and then that high ground defense becomes all the more threatening.
So you just realize that you're probably not going to get another chance anyway to use your Dragonlance attack into the tier 3 towers. So
yeah, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that Dragonlance pickup. I think if they just waited like another minute or two, not gotten the Dragonlance and gone BKB, that bottom lane could have actually been a high ground fight, and who knows, maybe that looks a lot different for LG or for EG. But yeah.
Time just keeps ticking by with EG. They still hold their gold advantage.
I mean, the Phantom Lancer doesn't truly take over the game until it's got that first big HP item. Right now, it's all the damage items, but it's still really squishy, so if you get the right kind of initiation, a PL can wilter under pressure.
But at the same time, like we also saw like how much he was able to do in that mid lane fight.
Yeah, and the initiation advantage is to LGD. I think just because Ravage is naturally better than Berserker's Call. And you have a high ground defense advantage as well. So
this Enchantress Hellbear is trying to keep tabs on Roshan. He doesn't spawn up for potentially another 20 seconds, so you got time as we actually get a damage dealing on him from Sumail. He goes for a Maelstrom. So a little bit more push, a little bit more attack behind Sumail. You might want to have actually had a little bit more survivability if you can't get this BKB off in time. LGD are on the hunt for him. The Observer Ward scouts out Sumail backing out.
Did he buy it and then sell it?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I think he's kind of like, I don't know what to go here. I mean, if he gets Maelstrom, it's like immediate damage now, and he can have the Mjolnir for the Axe later on, so he can actually put Static Charge on Axe before he goes in for the call. But no matter what, like you have to focus on winning the game, I think, right now. And I guess Maelstrom is not a bad item for cheap early damage.
You kind of got both of those. You got both Desolator as well as Maelstrom.
Yeah, well.
It is what it is, Toby. You just wait for a double damage. I don't know how long LGD can keep doing things like this, however. Like, you just sit inside your base while the rest of EG move across the entire map, continuously farming up. Like, I know you're waiting for your other items. Like, you just get an Aghanim Scepter over on the Invoker. You got your Greaves on the Tidehunter with his Blink Dagger, so he's looking good. A Dragonlance is done over on the Enchantress. You got Arcane Boots as well. As a Ghost Scepter over on the Dazzle. So they've got a lot to work with, and Roshan just spawned up. So LGD at least got a timing for this, but they don't have control of the lanes.
This game's just really weird watching EG. It feels like I see like remnants of a plan, but LGD, I mean, their lineup, once again, it's kind of like the game 1 scenario where I described LGD's lineup is just like very clear to understand as well as execute. LGD are just like banking on, okay, winning team fights with some Tidehunter Ravages and pushing this game later and later. Maybe we'll go for a split push. Aggressive will do the same. They'll both pick up Boots of Travels, and the pressure will be on Evil Geniuses to go high ground against Tidehunter and not lose that fight. And maybe they can take a lane of Rax and do it again round 2 and end the game from there. But game's getting a little bit late.
It feels like LGD is just chasing EG at the moment, but they never get there in time. Like, Roshan's scouted out by everybody, so they know it's up. But LGD commit a lot of players to that top, to their own jungle, to the top lane. Even though the Observer Wards saw the fact that EG left already. So now they 4-man smoke down, and they're coming down towards Roshan.
I think LGD, this game is close enough that LGD can actively fight into Evil Geniuses, so if they do lose a fight, EG can immediately go for objectives. I think Evil Geniuses, conversely, need to be in a position where they take Roshan, they have Aegis, they go high ground, they win one fight.
T8, Samael jumped on, the Ravager's there, Sunstrike as well, no refraction up at the time, so none of the damage was blocked.
And that's Roshan.
That it will be.
No buyback for Samael.
He spent his money. He actually had the full Mjolnir over on the courier when it was flying.
I really think that this like the way this lineup kind of fell into place where they just didn't get enough done in the laning phase. If Samael had a buyback, he would use it right now. They would fight around Roshan because this is sort of like the last ditch effort of EG.
It's kind of crazy to say that when a team's still like 4K gold in front and experience in front, but you're right, that timing of LGD is rapidly approaching. And with an Aegis Immortal behind them, they could do a hell of a lot more damage.
Yeah, like I said, the Phantom Lancer doesn't like really take over the game until he gets like that one like HP item, but it's the Diffuser Blade Manta that gives you all of your damage, and now he's got an Aegis, so it's like he's got the extra HP, right? Now he can just play balls to the wall. If he gets caught by that one really big play by Bulba, who to get the call on the Phantom Lancer, and they focus him down and blow him up, well, what are you gonna do for like number 2?
And you still got MMY. You've still got that Dazzle heal.
Mass Mjolnirs, boys. Lots of static charges and lightning procs against the PL. This is the way to do it.
I still have the words of Kai, Hani, ringing through my head. It's like, whenever you play up against an illusion hero, don't try and deal with the illusions. Deal with the main hero himself. You get Abyssal Blade. You get those type of items. You don't try and get like Maelstrom clearance, but on the bright side for EG, they're going to melt down through creep waves very, very quickly. However, PPD is now dead, so they'll have to wait a little bit longer. Sunstrike right on target from maybe. 44 seconds without the captain. He is now it's double his net worth from game 2, so that's okay.
I mean, did Hani ever win a TI? I mean, in reality, the thing is, it's just what EG have to do. They never should have been in this situation in the first place. They should have been able to get their Desolator, BKB, try and go high ground, take a lane of Rax, and then build the plan from there on how to deal with the Phantom Lancer with a laning advantage. But LGD, they did well in the laning phase. They weathered that brief storm around, 20 minutes, where EG were able to get aggressive. They didn't feed away too many kills.
Now, Bulba, there's your blink. You already got a good spin over on aggressive. The Aegis Immortal is going to trigger. The BKBs are up. And with the Doom on MMY, they do not have the Shallow Graves available. Xiaowei copying huge damage from Samael. And they're going to be able to finish this job. Xiaowei getting dunked down a little bit further to the south, however, aggressive. He's going up against PPD as well as AUI, but he can't keep the illusions up. He'll actually get blown up. And there's 1 minute on the sideline. They can force a buyback there, but there's no Ravage, and there is actually no buyback from Xiaowei. This is a 5-man mid-move now from EG.
Really well timed by EG. First of all, they get the jump from Bulba. Like, that's great. But notice what Bulba and Samael, as well as Fear, what they do immediately after taking out the Phantom Lancer. They don't stick around, they don't wait for him to revive or anything like that. They go straight forward with their BKB still activated, and they go for the Tidehunter. They force out a bad Ravage. At that point in time, the teamfight is a total success because the Phantom Lancer is naturally just going to be focused down without any sort of good AoE control from LGD. The Ravage has already been blown, so the second life of the Phantom Lancer means nothing. Now they managed to push in mid, force the buyback from aggressive, and Evil Geniuses are right back dead even, I would say, with LGD with that one team fight. They are still on a timer, but they are dead even.
They still need a way to get in.
Yeah,
like they need a way to get inside the base of LGD. Like moments like that where your Ravage is down, like that's the sweet spot. But then PL buys back. Yeah. So you're going to be dealing with Mana Styles, Doppelgangers, like Lance Illusions. They cannot go in. Like Samael was even having enough trouble just getting rid of the 2 Mantra Illusions before that fight in the mid began.
I think the HB item, by the way, for the Phantom Monster may actually be BKB. I think it just needs it because there's a lot of magic damage flying around with these Maelstroms and Mjolnirs. So I'm not fully set on that, but Evil Geniuses are definitely itemizing really well, I think. It's giving them this like slow build up into like 35-40 minutes where they can actually deal with Phantom Lancer illusions pretty well, even if he does start tanking up a decent amount. And they might just be able to end this game if they get the right kind of smoke initiation soon.
No, it's not. Aggressive bought a Vit booster, then turned around, then sold it again. And it's almost like Sumail's like, do I buy Maelstrom? Nope, sell it. Do I buy it? Sell it. And Bulba knew what he wanted. Before that fight was even going to begin in mid, before the PL bought back, he just walked up the side shop, secret shop, and bought himself a Mystic Stuff.
Yeah, Shiva's is one of the best items you could have against PL. And it's obviously an amazing item on Axe, so good combo.
Yeah. Just surprised he starts with the Mystic Stuff. Unless that's him just going, I don't know if I'm going to survive long enough to have 2,700 gold again.
Yeah, it's probably like, I have the golds to buy the big item, do that now. And
he's got the whole thing,
It's not a bad thing to have that extra mana on Axe. He's a little bit lacking in that regards. Remember, they only have one Arcane Boots hero, so...
Right.
Yeah. There's Shiva's, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Shiva's.
Because this means, I was just thinking, if Fear is going Lotus Orb in this game, is it necessary? There isn't actually that many single target abilities that it would bounce back. Spirit Lance would be one. I think it gets rid of Poison Touch.
Unless Fear is just going to go in for the Assault Cuirass.
Yeah, that's obviously the other item he could go, right?
Yeah.
It's like either AC or Lotus Orb. The Shiva's on Bulba.
The AC makes a little bit more sense to me as far as like the whole like when he times it, when he gets it, like the push is gonna be brilliant. Maybe solo kill on PPD. It's the Venomancer's life. Oh boy. Maybe. Yeah, he TP's out. He's gonna get cold. Oh, Bulba! He'll actually stop the TP. The sacrifice is worth it.
Big time pickoff.
If they can force a buyback now over on a second core, and in fact, Sumail found aggressive. Jump forward, aggressive now down to 3 charges. Okay, now Sumail realized that underneath the Sentry Ward. That's not so great. Losing a little bit too much mana for his liking. But this is, Invoker down for 50 seconds, doesn't want to buy back. EG continue to gain more map control and more farm on their own cores.
Oh, he's gonna go for the straight out heart for aggressive. Bought the Reaver.
What does Sumail buy?
This is pretty standard, but
Sumail's okay. Sumail's going Monkey King buff. I was wondering if you would do it just because like you will expect a butterfly to be the next major item up from a PL, so it makes sense.
Yes and no. When you're bouncing around,
it's a Daedalus. I take it all back.
Yeah.
It's actually the crit.
I was like, he should be going Daedalus here because
it is.
I don't think Butterfly is ever the item on PL because you need to just naturally tank up in these sort of situations, especially since there's so many AoE sort of things that are going to catch you out. First of all, there's the Berserker's Call counter Helix. Then there's the double Mjolnirs. There's a lot of damage that's bouncing around that Butterfly doesn't do anything against, and I think it's very rarely the next item pickup on PL. You just need raw HP. So like Heart, Scotty, sometimes BKB, those are the items you're going to consider. So in that case, I was like looking around, I was like, is there Radiance I don't understand? Like,
No. It was just the Demon Edge. I assumed wrong.
Yeah, Daedalus just makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Jump in. If they get that one call on the PL, Sumail blinks in, follows it up, and blows up aggressive.
Are you okay with this, like with Sumail? Like, it's obviously he wants to have all this damage, but do you look for a survivability item more than a BKB? Is 2k HP enough on a Templar Assassin?
I mean, that's just the thing. Templar Assassin.
Never mind. We're gonna yes Waga. We're good.
This is the thing. Yeah, there is no such thing as a tanky Templar Assassin, except for the tanky Templar Assassin into 25 minutes that, for some reason, has BKB and Scotty because she's way overfed. The nature of the hero is glass cannon. So you just build straight up damage, and that's what you got to focus on. He's always going to be the second one into a team fight. He's going to always follow up his initiation of Bulba or potentially Doom if somehow Doom manages to get a really good blink opportunity. But
Aegis and Cheese. Bulba's going to take Cheese. Aegis into AUI's hands.
Wow.
Samael's are obviously already like full, so he's good.
Yeah, that's
But Bulba is really difficult to kill. Vanguard, Shivas, and BKB, and then he's got the Cheese on top. AUI can be a little bit more reckless.
Yeah. We're gonna come to like just this major head where it could be the team fight goes like really heavily into the favor of Evil Geniuses and they're able to end the game outright, and then you look at this game and go like, oh man, LGD were always kind of behind. Or you're gonna see LGD successfully defend high ground and Evil Geniuses lineup will start crumbling if they start feeding that next round of items to LGD. So this next team fight is going to be critical, and Evil Geniuses have done a really great job of just not rushing it. You know, this is kind of like just the mistake of commentators where you try and pressure them like, oh, you have to get this done, you're on a timer and that sort of thing. But
yeah,
there is always a way to itemize in a way that prolongs your timing. And Evil Geniuses have very clearly done that with their double Mjolnirs there. And it's also the nature of their lineup. Like, they don't have a very clear, like, hard 5. Every single one of their heroes does scale. Even their Venomancer, like, just gets better with levels. And eventually we'll probably see an Ags if through some godly miracle, PPD gets some gold in his pockets. Somehow the team allows that to happen, then we could actually see him scale really well.
You'll have to hit a perfect ulti combo with Gale in order for that to happen.
Yeah.
Right now, Samael is taking a hell of a lot of damage and also losing a lot of mana to these illusions. Remember, he's not the one with the cheese or the Aegis. So when he loses this, he actually loses it properly. It's not like also the last game from EG where they're walking around with versus LGD. They had 3 arcane boots for that extra mana sustain. Maybe he's going to move even more of it as AUI, well, stays in range of the EMP.
I want to point out a couple of things to look out for in the next fight.
There it is now. There's your jump over on Xiao Wei with the Doom. He'll end up surviving a Willy. Bulba's right behind him. He's there for the dunk. And with that bonus, he'll move over towards the Enchantress, but the damage is already done by TA. You'll buy back on the Titan. Remember, that Ravage is available from Xiao Wei. Straight to the front lines. He can blink himself forward in 8 seconds time when they just use Diffusal Blade. Bulba tries to turn, looking for the spin damage. He's not really getting a lot of it just yet. Fear wants to help him out as well, but do they really have enough? Mid lane still being sieged at the same time. AUI, he may burn from this almost with the Lancers arriving. It will do it, but MMY gets evaporated by Samael. Aggressive needs to get rid of this, and with all the PR illusions, they may have a chance for the Ravage cover here from Xiao Wei. He'll walk back out of the cover of his own Ghost Scepter. The Bulba is still alive. They've brought down the Templar Assassin. Aggressive needs to keep this push going. He knows Bulba can deal with him, and maybe, well, can they? Fears back to the front lines. Aggressive is low, and AUI is finally doing some considerable damage, almost killing off Aggressive. The Sunstrike's looking for his target, and it's gonna get it. Bulba is down, maybe just playing around AUI with that Blink Dagger, and with the attack, it's a double kill already for Maybe. You're gonna make it almost a triple kill until MMY with his massive damage kills off Fear.
And the game's over. That's the big clash. LGD won it. They successfully bought back on Maybe, and how many people bought back? There was Xiao Wei.
You had buybacks on
3
you
different
had
buybacks.
Tide, Dazzle, and TA.
Yeah, as well as Xiao Wei. That was the big one. The thing I was going to say is that because Maybe finally picked up the Lincolns, it's unlikely that Fear's going to be able to get the Blink, Purge, and Doom onto him. So instead, he's probably going to be focusing on the Tidehunter. But Xiao Wei had saved up the gold to be able to buy back, so that didn't really matter as much. The fight kind of drew out underneath the LGD base, and that just naturally goes to the favor of the Phantom Lancer. Samael, knowing that fight was essentially EG's best opportunity to end the game, he bought back and invested into TPing and fighting again, and LGD obviously coming out on top with a dieback on Samael leaves Evil Geniuses woefully wanting in defense. LGD will now push high ground, and Evil Geniuses, well, they couldn't push against LGD and win that fight. And this just means that LGD will now in turn get some map control, get a lot of gold on some of their heroes, and you're going to see that full-out Phantom Lancer that becomes a little bit unkillable.
I want to see if he can die at any point. You just in that last fight, I was like, okay, well, he should go down. Nope.
It was close with AUI, man.
It really
AUI was like, yeah, screw mana. I don't need it. It only means the Phantom Lancer is just going to do more damage to me with the feedback. So he just stood there. He's like, no mana warrior, right-clicking away and aggressive. And he was actually winning that man fight.
And then Doppelganger and PL gets the movement away from him.
Yeah, exactly. Aggressive's like, oh yeah, I don't have to take this fight because I'm Phantom Lancer. I can do whatever I want.
I can back out. Heart regenerates me. I'll come back in again. What have you got as far as sustain goes, VS?
Yeah. So now Evil Genius is like, every fight is harder than the last one, right? And that's why I was kind of like, kind of jokingly, the game is over. Because Evil Genius is, it's not just, it's a little harder. It's like 3 times harder than the last one. So they have to get some like amazing initiation, probably bank off of Roshan as well. They probably still need Aegis just to be able to attempt to take a high ground, because LGD are now, like, they've got late game. Maybe has an Octarine now. Yeah. All that's left is replacing your Midas with a Refresher, and you've hit the full late game monster, maybe Invoker, that single-handedly wins games. And it just so happens that Aggressive is a pretty late game carry as well with the Phantom Lancer.
One upside is that EG is prepared for this fight. They took the gem out from PPD. They were able to get rid of that aggressive ward from LGD, and they put their own defensive one up. So if LGD do come and fight, EG at least should have some kind of like early warning system to help them with it. But now the same thing can be done by LGD. They pick up their own gem. Also, the fact too, like, we didn't actually mention it before, but the Hurricane Pike over on Sep, he had that before the last fight, the last big one. Small little thing, but it's another one of those moments where you're like, hey, how do you keep up with the Phantom Lancer? How do you even like, stay close to an Enchantress as well?
Yeah. MMY also has an Ether Lens. Can't say I've seen that before in a Dazzle. But he just needs to sit way far out in the back lines. And the increased in range for Weave and Shadow Wave and Shallow Grave will all help him stay out of danger.
Well, this game just... EG needs something more. Like, they lost so much with that push. It was... Like, do you almost want to just see, like, a YOLO kind of play from TA? Like, the only thing else she can really buy is a Moonshard, unless she wants to sacrifice something like Desolator. Or you just go all out damage and you get, like, I don't say Rapier, but...
No! You are in a position as Evil Geniuses to start considering the Divine Rapier, Toby. I am not lying to you here. They can actually get rid of, like, Desolator if they want and go Divine. Maybe the Mjolnir has worn out its ranged AoE capabilities against PL this late into the game, and he sells that instead, but... Yeah, get the Moonshard, start considering Divine Rapier. I mean, the Evil Geniuses do not want to go down and have to face up against either Mineski or... who was our other team that we were just casting?
MVP.
MVP, yeah. MVP is a really scary team to face up against, right? So, yeah, they don't want to have that matchup. They are still going to hold on to the small chance of a win here against LGD's lineup. And they do still scale. Even if the Templar Assassin is reaching her peak, AUI has plenty of items that he can still pick up over time. Like
he's actually building into a Halberd at this point, or is this going to be like a Butterfly VS?
It's a Butterfly VS. It's a really damage-efficient item. And it just so happens that PL does not want to get an MKB, so yep, it works out in his favor.
Well, neither will the Invoker. Alright,
well, Invoker will just try and meteor your ass, you know?
Yeah, he's got enough damage elsewhere.
It's like, who needs puny right clicks?
Master of Magic, not Master of the Fists. EG, getting ready to push up middle lane, so they put Samel in the front lines. Gives the lane a little bit of momentum, and that's the exposed lane 2 of LGD. There's no tier 3 tower there. The range right is practically dead. I guess we've been sitting on 20 HP for the last 10 minutes. So all they have to do is just get close enough to attack it once, and it is gone. And Samel's pushing it in. Now the TP is coming back from LGD.
Well, the wards.
Wow. TPD, solid play.
Sneaky snake.
And the time they do it, they actually get LGD to fall back to the base, and Roshan just spawned up. There's the Enchantress Centaur, which is sitting inside. Exactly. So this will reveal the fact that it's there, but Samel also does a lot of damage very quickly.
Yeah, but I don't think it's fast enough. I think LGD will always be able to contest. I mean, think about the things that they have to be able to jump in, right? They've got a blink in Ravage. They have the long-range Tornado that is also really disruptive inside the Roshan pit. So
I suppose the other question is too, does EG even want to give the option for LGD to try and fight against this? They're going to smoke up and move around aggressive. The observers and sentries are down aggressively, get scouted out. AUI, well, there's the blink. Aggressive, put himself in the tree line. Doppelganger out. Bulba very aggressively blinking forward, looking for a target, but only finding illusions. But now they find the real aggressive with the call. You cannot bring down the Phantom Lancer. Instant buyback. He's BTing into the bottom lane. He wants to come and join the rest of his teammates. Doombringer up and towards the air. Fear isolated out, and EG just have to bail out of here. Or do they? Yep, they do. They lost PPD, their Gem of True Sight as well. And in fact, Samel just instantly BTs to the top lane. He needs to push this out. He potentially just jumps towards the mid lane if he wants to go for the racks.
that was a really awkward error there from Aggressive.
Maybe. EMP burn. The BKB's down for Samel. He blinks himself out. Roshan's taking a little bit of time. Bulba with the Shiva's guard jumps in, gets himself a 3-man call for the moment. A little bit of spins, but the Sunstrike damage is still so high. Wave of Terror, AUI has swapped him out. Basically goes disco at the moment with the BKB as well as Mjolnir's shield. Aggressive right behind him. The stun's around, but AUI, it's almost like he's just trying to create space, old support style. He will go down.
Go, Samel! Go for the
Samel
racks!
is going back again. Invoker, he's got BTs available, so if he wants to jump up, he can do it. And now, there goes your BTs. It's maybe coming back quickly. And Roshan, we're back at it again.
These are kind of like the desperation plays that Evil Geniuses are forced into at this point. They have to like somehow outmaneuver. Like the initial thing was that Aggressive made kind of an error and they got the takeoff. That's good.
The Sunstrike. BKB is up for Bulba. Oh, the TP! He just gets out in the nick of time. Roshan's still over 50% HP. The top tier 3 tower is still slightly under siege.
Well, yeah, because Phantom Lancer's terrible at doing.
Oh, they found Samel. They found him coming back in again. The observers and sentries were there. He'll have to BKB and try and run himself out of this one. He needs refraction up. The Sunstrike's flying in too. They're right behind him. He just can't get this damn blink off cooldown. Diffuser play charge. Samel gone. 99 seconds on the sideline. But still, they haven't taken Roshan.
EG are still looking for a kill on the Invoker. I think they're actually planning on going for, if they can get the initiation onto maybe.
They need
Doom.
Maybe just saw him.
They might try and buy back, but not gonna work. Key.
The Observer Ward's actually, that doesn't reveal. They don't have the gem. They don't have detection. That's this moment again. And PPD just realized that he's got cold feet. Maybe can solo that, but he doesn't know what else is behind him. And that's the only thing which is stopping him from doing it.
You are so bad at doing Roshan. Phantom Lancer. He's got the Vengeful Spirit, or he had the Vengeful Spirit negative debuff thing on him as well, decreasing his damage even further. They finally do it. Aegis for Aggressive, so is able to shore up against that one opportunity that Evil Geniuses were afforded when Aggressive died. He bought back. If they somehow killed him again and found him without a buyback, they could have actually maybe done something, but unfortunately, there's now that second life on Aggressive and LGD. They're going to be the ones pushing in. EG are still angling for the win, doing everything they can. That's why they keep this top lane pushed out. They think that maybe if they get the right kind of really awkward initiation onto, say, the Invoker and the Templar Assassin TPs in, they kill the Invoker, they start threatening the racks, they force LGD back. They can force errors, essentially, out of LGD. But so far, they haven't actually found that opening.
Force them to actually fight with only 4 or 3 heroes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, have a swap so you don't get the TP out. That would be the dream if you're EG, but right now, like, the dream we're actually just seeing where LGD is moving. Across the map, they put down 2 nice aggressive observer wards, which watch out the dire jungle, but beyond that, they don't really see much more. It's just the laning presence. LGD is going to make it pretty obvious with aggressive where he is. Aggressive is actually going to be building into that butterfly once he's finally had that Aegis Immortal timeout.
Yeah. About that time. Big damage upgrade. Oh,
PPD glimmers toward.
Run away!
And then runs away quickly. Hilariously enough, because of his attack, like, Xiao Wei couldn't blink himself forward to go for it.
Yeah.
So, upside for PPD. Downside is he just has no gem, so even that movement is just to see if he can find LGD. And not have to burn his scan.
Unfortunately for Evil Geniuses, LGD have managed to successfully get all the waves pretty well pushed in, and will be looking at a full 5-man team fight against Evil Geniuses. Like, no shenanigans, no side lane pushes, nothing like that is actually going to threaten this mano-a-mano fight.
Bulba is now going to have himself, he's going to have 11 seconds worth of immunity. He just picked up a refresher orb over on this axe.
I mean, what else are you going to do on an axe, dude?
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, let's hit the Berserker's Call of my life and Shiva's and then double it.
I'd almost want to see him actually pick up that Abyssal Blade and have the control.
Much stronger.
I'm not going to
RP,
disagree with that. I'm just saying he can go to Abyssal Blade now.
It's a mini RP, and you've got a pseudo cleaving hero and Templar Assassin, you know? The splash damage combination, anything can happen. Especially if he gets a Divine Rapier. I really want to see
AUI picked up as the EMP Tornado combination. AUI hits the ground, goes to Sun, immediately triggers Lincoln Sphere. Venomancer already also going off, but aggressive, hiding inside the Doppelganger. So PPD, well, you're going to lose him already. Aggressive, actually not too healthy, but remember, he's still got the Aegis Immortal. Axe stunts #1 to Enchantress on the sidelines. AUI is still very low. Gets another stun over on Zhao Wei. Ghost will protect him, and there's your tomb on the Invoker. And in comes Samael, looking to delete heroes at the moment. Bulba, he doesn't have the mana. He actually can't even combo until finally they will find that kill, but aggressive backup, burning off everything they've got, and the double buybacks are on their way. You're still battling it out. The Sunstrike perfectly on position. Bulba is going to go down too, as Fear blinks out, TPs away to safety. They're here to defend, but Samael as well as AUI both had to buy back to do so.
Yeah, that fight, they needed a very clean initiation for Evil Geniuses. They even hoped to be able to win that fight, and obviously getting caught in that weird hard camp area. It was a good call and double call from
They jump.
from Bulba. But
AUI going to go for the stun. Remember, they've still got swap available here from AUI, so they could potentially punish position here, but aggressive, chasing them after Fear. He doesn't want this Doombringer to have any kind of part in this fight. Zhao Wei on the run, you can Gale and keep maybe also a little bit delayed out of this, and Samael, he just can't reach anyone. Has to trigger the BKB. Zhao Wei welcomes it. He actually walks in closer to it, but the shallow grave is up for MMY. Samael knows he can't get it. It's actually aggressive under the T4 towers, attacking the captain of EG. Now he'll move towards the core with a deafening blast, got all the space in the world. Samael is down. This should almost be the game. Without 2 minutes of Samael, they can easily take out 2 lanes of Franks, if not more. They're going for the GG push, and there it is. Cliff game. It is going to be LGD taking it in 54 minutes, 2-1 against EG, and they'll take #1 position out of Group D.
Well played by LGD. I think this draft was
it was kind of interesting. It was a little bit wonky from Evil Geniuses, and I think their execution showed as much, that it wasn't something that maybe they were super practiced with, and the adjustments that they had to make were just a little bit off. I think they just lost too much control early on, and it snowballed against them. And you'll see that constantly with LGD. They'll take a small opening that you give them, they'll punish you for it, and then that just means the rest